I'd like to call this special meeting of the Urbana City Council Committee of the Whole to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
I'm glad you liked it.
City Council members Brown, Hazen, Hersey,
Here.
Jacobson. Here. Miller.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
And Wu.
Here.
Mayor Marlin.
Here.
Is there any public input? And seeing that there is no public input tonight, anyone who wishes to speak first? Okay. I move on to the next, where is my agenda? Move on to the next thing, ordinance number 2019-04028, an ordinance amending Urbana City Code, Chapter 14, Section 14-7, regarding the schedule of fees, July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. And this is from Finance.
Yes, hi. I'm Beth Beatty. I'm a manager in finance. This is the annual revision of the schedule of fees. City code requires that the fee schedule be put on file for 30 days in the city clerk's office. No action at this time other than to just forward it to the May 20th council meeting. A little bit of background. This proposed fees will generate approximately $79,150 in revenue for the coming fiscal year. I'd like to point out that there is no annual liquor license fee increases being proposed. Fees are reviewed and adjusted annually to keep pace with the increasing cost to provide these related services. Increases are based on projections from the amount of work performed and the cost involved. Some fees are planned increases. This year, staff is proposing a 2.5% increase for the majority of the fees listed. The fees proposed will take effect on July 1st of this year. And if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to try and answer those for you.
Are there any questions, discussion? Mary Alice?
So I can't find the exact part in here. There was some conversation about not increasing vehicle for hire and that was under review. Is that correct?
Yes.
So there'll be a proposal in front of us on how to handle vehicles for hire soon?
Transportation network companies like Ubers and Lyft.
Transportation network companies.
Yeah, you did approve changes to vehicles for hire for taxi cabs and limousines the last fiscal year. It is on the horizon for staff to start looking into that, to bring something before you, and we hope to do that this year. We've just had a lot of other projects going on.
So the ETA for that is sometime this year?
I would say in fiscal year 2020.
Okay, all right.
Dennis? Dennis.
Okay, thank you. I got a couple of questions as I went through the fees, just to get a better sense of what we're doing. Those fees that we increase, which have a minimal income difference for the community, for the city, and I think I even pointed out one which was number 10, erosion control permits, for example. And the increase, it says at the end of the description here, the increase in additional revenue is minimal. I'm wondering if it's really useful to raise fees which affect business in our community where the result is minimal. What's the finance department's feeling about it?
Well, minimal could be anything under $500. We just don't list out all the, like, this is going to increase $70, this is going to increase $120. And I think the purpose is to consistently increase these fees because of the cost of personnel. And with personnel increases, then the work, all that is related, and that's one of the reasons why we increase these fees. And the other is the amount of time that it takes to process these types of permits and the cost involved in them. So I can certainly be more transparent and put the exact fees that are going to be increased, just for such smaller amounts that do end up adding up when you take them as a whole. It's just something that we just don't typically do.
Okay, you explained it, so,
Okay.
but, okay, so I want to ask about a couple of different things
Sure.
here. And maybe I'm just not remembering it exactly, but fee number 5 is amusement devices. And is that gaming
No.
stations?
No.
What is it?
This is pool tables, jukeboxes,
Okay.
karaoke, or, well, anything with a coin slot.
Okay,
That's not related to gaming,
okay.
gambling.
Thanks, then. All right, then you have one for live scan fingerprinting. It's a very minor change, $2. But it's interesting, who pays that? The arrested individual?
No.
No.
This is people who come for concealed carries, for jobs out of state, a lot of medical jobs out of state where they have to send off their background checks. We also do them for our liquor licenses. Before we had live scanning, we actually had to send people to go get fingerprinted for the liquor license. So now, having that on site, that's just one less place that they have to go. Vehicle for hire company owners and drivers are required to have a background check as well.
Okay, great, thank you. That really covers that. This might be something we might want to discuss, but I'm a little concerned about the significant raise in special event permits. So like when we have these people who would like to have an event in the community and they want to like close Main Street and, whether it's going to be the shortest St. Patrick's Day parade or a First Friday, I know that it's expensive to do those things, and I guess we're not really covering the costs of this personnel. Is that really what we're doing with here?
Right.
Because I don't want to make it so that, really, I'm kind of wondering if we should maybe tone those down a little bit, because we don't want to prohibit the really great events happening in the community due to perhaps an organization's lack of funding to cover the larger fee, plus whatever they have to do to perform the service that they want to do. And some of the trees are tripling in cost from $30 to $100. That's a significant rise for a special event without even asking for a road closure. So I don't know if you really thought about the impact that would have on community events or not.
Right. I think I'll let Carol.
Yeah, I actually, on behalf of Public Works, had proposed these increases because working more closely with the Public Works staff, I realize how much staff time is involved in processing applications, and the fees are agnostic to the quality of the event. So if there's a quality event that we want to support, then they should request an accommodation in the fee in the form of a grant or something. But these are meant to reflect, and this was not even done with a careful analysis. This is a minimum amount to attempt to recover the staff time spent even reviewing applications. So that's the intent, and next year I'm actually hoping that we can have a more careful analysis and get better numbers.
Do we have very many requests? How many permits do we usually do in a year, maybe? Do you know? Probably you don't know, actually.
I don't know, sorry.
Yeah, okay. All right, okay. I wanted to point out that in number 16, which is Certificate of Home Occupation, there's a $sign on the second to last line, but there's not a number. And you
There
probably
is.
figured
And I
that out.
appreciate you pointing out the one mistake that I caught tonight, and I did right typo. But I would say it's not significant enough, and my guess would probably be around $200.
Yeah, okay. All right, let me look at Regional Pollution Control Facility license. Who does that? Are these trash collecting
No.
fees?
Well, no, that is sanitary hauler.
Okay,
Regional pollution control facilities, that's like the Urbana transfer station. And I can't think of the other company. There's two of them
oh,
that we license.
to do
They process
pollution control?
garbage.
They have a station?
Does anyone know?
Oh,
Yeah,
Does
right.
anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, demolition, okay. All right, and I'm coming to the end of that, my questions now, all right. Yeah, that was it. I just thought, wow, okay, I'm learning things perhaps, and I didn't quite understand everything that we
Yeah.
feed.
Mary Alice?
So I'm not sure if this question goes to you or Elizabeth, but where does the money go?
The
Money for all of these fees, where does it go in the budget? Does it go to the individual groups that are processing it? So to your group, Carol, does it go to the clerk's office? Where does the money go?
Well, it depends on the fees, but many of these go into the general fund. But for everything within the general fund, we don't earmark, because you issued a $200 permit for such and so, that doesn't automatically increase your budget. Some of them go into other funds, like, stormwater and sanitary sewer fees obviously go into those funds
Sure,
that are
sure.
designated for that purpose.
Okay, so it goes into the general funds,
Yes,
basically?
for the most part, yeah.
Okay, and then, Carol, I wanted to ask that you had said that somebody could apply for a grant or a waiver of a special permit fee. Is there a process in place for that right now?
We're working on revising it.
But there is a process in place, even though you're
It's a little
revising
more
it.
loose than we would like, but yes, there's a process in place.
And where would somebody find that?
They would ask about it, they wouldn't find it anywhere.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's online somewhere, that somebody who is interested could go and figure out what the current process is, so that they could apply for it.
I would suggest that they call the city administrator's office. There's not a place. People make
Okay. All
make their desires known in many different ways, but somehow we always find out.
The plan is to make the process more consistent and transparent, which really hasn't been up to this point. So it will be.
Okay, all right.
Jared?
Thanks, Sharice.
You're welcome.
Carol, I guess I have a question. We had briefly brought up revisions of the liquor license. So I'm assuming that the fees in there, since I didn't see any adjustments at this time, are going to be assessed along with that process, even though we're not off, even though we could be changing them now.
One of the beauties of being the city administrator is I don't have to do anything with liquor, so I'm going to ask the mayor to address your.
All right, I guess that one's on you, Diane.
Liquor. Actually, we haven't increased liquor license fees since 2016. And part of that is a reflection that they're significantly higher. Many of these are significantly higher than champagnes. But you're right, we are in the process of revising the entire liquor ordinance. And actually, we've gotten a good start on it already. So it didn't make sense to recommend any changes at this point, because we're going to be these classes will go away. A lot of these classes will be completely different. So we're developing a whole new set of classes with writers, and there will be a whole new fee schedule. So once we get a proposed liquor ordinance drafted, then we're going to have to meet with Beth and her team and work out a fee schedule. So I'm
Sure. I get you. I'm looking.
it'll be several months.
Sure.
Several months.
I'm looking forward to hopefully before renewals have to happen for most
Oh yes.
folks.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We'll have a draft of the new ordinance in a few months, and then we'll work out the fee schedule. So the goal is to get this all in place as soon as we can.
Cool. I'm looking
But
forward to
it'll be-
seeing our new competitive rates.
Well, it certainly will be a lot easier to read and understand.
Thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? Jared?
I'm going to make a motion that we send ordinance number 2019-04-028, an ordinance amending the Urbana City Code, Chapter 14, Section 14-7, regarding the schedule of fees, good from July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. Forward to, I guess, the next City Council meeting with a recommendation for approval.
May 20th.
May 20th City Council meeting. Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
I'll second that.
Okay, it has been moved by Jared and seconded by Mary Alice. I know your name. Mary Alice. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? And so it has been carried.
Thank you.
Is there any other business before the city committee of the whole? Seeing no more business, we are adjourned.